I'm a bit unfamiliar with this, only seen it in movies. New season, new format. Same topic, same purpose. Hunger Games: A Rising Gossip, Season 2, my only take. Action.
This is a season like no other.
It's all about pressure.
You always have doubts. When you need to be aggressive, you need to be aggressive. When you need to be smooth, you need to be smooth.
It can get tough, it can get ugly.
Hype is there, they hope. Sometimes they say, why I'm doing this.
Some weekends are good, some weekends are bad.
What's the best quarter?
Good. You can be the hero today but forgotten tomorrow.
The higher you rise, the sharper the knives. The best way to become unpopular is to win.
I don't need any of this fucking.
There are tensions, but never be best friends.
Oh my god.
Seems like a bit of a shit show. I'd probably better off out of it.
It's very simple. If you're not performing, you're out.
The world today is a complex tapestry of interconnected challenges and extraordinary opportunities. On one hand, we are living in an age of unprecedented technological advancement, globalization, and cultural exchange. However, we also face pressing issues such as inequality, political polarization, global crises, and ethical questions about whether the information or truth given is accurate. Do I look formal, handsome, or someone just give me a comment on how I look today?
You look very nice, but the audience won't see it because we have the silhouette effect on.
Oh, yeah, right. My name is Henry, nicknamed Hunger Professor. I am the producer of this YouTube channel series, Hunger Games: A Rising Gossip. I would say I started following the Hunger Games right around 2020 because of COVID, and therefore I had a little more extra time out of my university studies and my part-time job at my parents' company. To me, the most iconic moment in the show would be Jason's iconic and funny moment in Singapore during the show's 3rd anniversary.
中了！那你帮我记几号？对，我记几号？3、5、6、8、9、10、55、66，哦，55、66，不然就5跟6选一个。跟6选一个，5跟6选一个，5跟6选一个，我选发功嘛，就来一个5号，566。
看平安哥的脸。
好，许梦哲选5号。
是谁？
是他。他选中他自己。真的假的？真的假的？梦哲，我帮你 check， 我帮你 check， 真的假的啦
Wait a minute. But wasn't this episode broadcasted on CTV back in 2019?
That is right, but did anyone say I can't look back at previous episodes? Just kidding. Actually, because I did not really have the time to follow the Hunger Games before university. Nothing else. 说实话，我国中就跳脱台湾学制，后来转到美国学校去念。但我不像很多人是讲白一点为了混日子而去的。我当时为自己设定好，想要去英国大学念书。当时为了考上英国的顶尖大学，除了把书念好外，我还考了8科进阶先修的课程，还写了申请学校的自传。更别提我还有自己想做的课外活动，光这些我当时连看饥饿的时间都没有了。虽然日子看似辛苦，但一切都值得，而且我过得还蛮开心的。
So, what got you started into making the Hunger Games, a Rising Gossip series?
Well, I did not have the intention of creating the series in the first place. It was one of my friends that suggested I do so, but I was still pretty hesitant.
My name is Danny, nicknamed Ocean. I am the creator and supervisor of Hunger Games, or Rising Gossip. My most memorable Hunger Games episode is episode 265. Other than of one of the hostesses' heartbreaking moment I can never forget, but also it was the first episode of this series.
The Hunger Games, I know that is viral, was the movie, wasn't it? What got you into liking this reality TV show from Taiwan?
Henry and I were in the same society and university. There was one time in which I saw what Henry was watching on YouTube while he was waiting for our society gathering. While waiting, I watched about 10 minutes of that program with him. Although I did not understand any Chinese or Taiwanese at first, but I was interested in it. Because other than just fun, there are some meaningful stories behind the program. Then, he invited me to watching the broadcast on Sunday, and I immediately said yes.
Do you remember the episode when you first watched the broadcast with Henry?
Certainly, episode 319. The time when they went on a 2-day trip around the southern part of Taiwan.
大家早安！哎呀，我们现在来到了台南。哎呀，没想到台南也这么冷啊！
跟气象讲的完全不一样。
因为你知道，我出发前我还查气象，哎，28度，然后这台南应该是没有什么问题。我想说。我就只有一件长袖，这3天就是这一件长袖，我也没有外套，然后就这个背心。
我早上下来，
因为我其实都带 T 恤，我想说背心 T 恤应该就搞定了。那这个人更扯，连背心都没有。
我早上下来
就这样下来，
我在巴士上睡到全身鸡皮疙瘩。
这次的主题应该讲一下哈，是连续2集的特别企划，主题叫做《流连忘返的饥饿之旅》第2弹。
什么？
又是流连忘返，
就是上次是夏季之旅，
对，旅行团，
对。
上次流连忘返真的有榴莲哎，对啊，这次有没有榴莲？
就是有榴莲，这个季节
要看你们有没有推荐到，一样是5位主持人各自推荐2个南部景点，然后带大家从台南一路向南，吃喝玩乐到屏东。
是不是？
所以你们赚到了。我们这流连忘返之旅是没有限制吃东西的，然后是一直吃，一直吃，一直吃，哎。
但会玩游戏，会比赛吗？还是都可以吃？
应该是会有小游戏。
现在先说明一下你们最关心的旅游津贴获得的机制。
而且我们有关心这个吗？我们有东西吃，我们就很开心。
之前的播出一讲完那个说金额太少，什么奖金太少都来了。
我们没有那么势利吧？对啊。先讲今天钱多少？先讲今天。
这2天呢，你们每到一个景点，我们那个饥饿的粉丝专页就会po出1篇你们游玩的图文，来让粉丝按赞。
按赞。
然后2天10个景点，总共按赞数如果达到10万个赞，你们10位就可以直接共享旅游津贴1万元。
10万个赞，2个景点
我们10位才1万元，等于是一个人2000块。
没有，一人10万个赞。可以获得全部可以获得1万块，那就是一人才1000。什么？我们10天10个人，10万，你怎么会2000？
重点是一个人只有分到1000，怎么吸引得了我？对啊，我觉得，对不对？
现在先说明一下你们最关心的旅游津贴获得的机制。
而且我们有关心这个啊，我们有东西吃，我们就很开心。
好了，那给个 bonus 好了。今天收工前，如果已经累积超过5万个赞以上，你们旅游津贴变成直接获得2万元。
2天只有2000块。
我有家人呢，他在看我们的饥饿游戏，然后看说哦，你们真的很辛苦，你们录1天这样子才分那9000块哦。
他不知道你有领主持费。
主谋刚才是用一个就是皮笑肉不笑的笑容讲这句话。好。
That was also my first time knowing about this program, which I was being asked by Danny to come over to Henry's room to watch it. My name is Bella. I was the interviewer for the Hunger Games, a Rising Gossip series. But now, I am the notes taker of the team. To be honest, I wasn't really a die-hard fan of this variety show at the start. Until the time when we started creating the first episode for this series, then I got interested.
I was the person that encouraged Henry to do this series. I believe it was around the 2023 Spring Fest battle, episode 324 if I remember. Because I saw he was paying attention to Facebook rather than the broadcast at that time.
Yeah, that time. Because what I've heard from a chat group, that there were some Facebook comments on that episode. It was just going crazy. So I just decided to take a look what was going on.
当時その朝飯前タスクのせいで多くのファンが爆発し、直接その投稿の掲示板を埋め尽くした。
My name is Yusuko. I am the other supervisor for the Hunger Games, a Rising Gossip series. I am also the peacekeeper in this team when we have discussions when making this series.
「その時、ダニーはヘンリーにコメントは何を書いているのかと尋ねた。ヘンリーの答えを聞いて、ダニーはこのシリーズを作ることを思いついたんだと思う。
And since I agreed on making to this series, I just don't want to say this. Well, because Danny said he was the mastermind of creating the idea for making this series. That's why he gave himself the nickname Ocean.
Thinking back to those weeks, it wasn't easy persuading Henry into making this series.
Well, the reason why I disagreed to the production of A Rising Gossip was pretty obvious. There are just too much elements to consider. Plus, I don't want to see any of us having trouble with those that tend to find faults from our videos and give us a hard time. I mean, even though all countries right now are basically no different in terms of these sort of comments on the internet, but in my mind, Taiwan is just a different story.
I also agree with Henry, especially when we publicize these sorts of videos on the internet, we then turn ourselves into public figures. And maybe we may face a lot of harsh comments from haters, who knows?
I tried to convince him through reasons such as being as objective as possible and using perspectives and notes generated by ChatGPT, but he still refused.
Then at what point did Henry change his mind?
Well, the time when I changed my mind was probably around the hostess' second anniversary. But for the reason why I changed my mind, I honestly can't remember.
So, with the production confirmed, the team is officially formed, with you and other 3 members discussing about this show, and each with individual key roles in the discussion.
Well, the team does have 2 more members, so it's actually a team of 6. But they joined much later, so their roles right now will be more easygoing. But they still listen to the discussions we have, as they wish to be able to participate in the topics we are talking about.
And that is basically how our Hunger Games viewing team was formed, and how we created this A Rising Gossip series, in which we continue to watch the Hunger Games, but we don't only just watch this show for fun, but for creating critical thinking opportunities for everyone. And as most of you all know our progress for Season 1, we started out with what happened on episode 265, followed by analyzing the 2 Spring Fest specials, and then finally the Hunger Games hostesses battle.
I think we have talked enough about how this series originated and how you all got interested in the program. Now, let us discuss about the general question some of the audience may have.
I suggested using a silhouette effect for the speaker, because as it prevents cyber manhunt by those cyber cannibals, both for the speaker and ourselves who generate these perspectives. As some may remember what Tony Sun had said in one of his Instagram live streams. When we post our comments and ideas on the internet in any format, we turn ourselves into public figures. Therefore, we have to take responsibility of what we say in our series. We welcome all constructive criticisms or viewpoints that challenge our perspective, but we will not accept those that attempt to challenge us through threats or extreme sarcasm.
Yes, Arising Gossip was indeed inspired by the format of Formula One Drive to Survive. The only difference is that rather than us witnessing and recording everything that has happened during the filming in person, we only rely on the video clips posted on the Hunger Games YouTube channel. We then analyze from the objective perspective, and whenever necessary, we boldly ask for clarification from the social media manager or members of the production team. While the similar parts are the interview and the use of videos as reference to describe what has happened, as well as occasionally adding in other videos or materials that correlate to the theme of the video.
Simply saying, that was just a flaw that Bella and I initially suggested, as we wanted to demonstrate a change in camera angles when interviewing objective. Turns out, it blurs away from the main purpose, so we made adjustments to it, just one silhouette for objective.
This next question, which I believe is what most of the viewers and subscribers are all curious about.
Thank goodness I am not forgotten. My name is Objective, and I am the narrator in Hunger Games, Arising Gossip.
Objective and I go way back. We met each other back in 2017, in which we attended the same summer program at Cambridge University. And coincidentally, we were in the same project group for our presentation. Both of us and our group members had a delightful time of discussions and cooperation, and we did very well in our presentation. Despite the fact we were back to our original lives after the summer program, Objective and I still kept in contact for about 2 weeks.
Just 2 weeks?
Well, it could have been longer, but Objective was involved in some sort of trouble.
I was somehow involved in a crime of bullying my classmate, which I was just saving him from the bullies, but for some reason, I was proven guilty.
Why?
I don't want to talk about the details too much, but I do confess, I am against cases of bullying happening in school, and I would even stand up against bullies. But for some reason, on that day, while I saved the classmate that was being bullied, I got backstabbed by him.
That is ridiculous.
Yes, I ended up doing 2 years in prison. However, my conviction was reversed by the judge and I was acquitted, and the student I saved at that time was expelled by the school due to fraud from that case and his ridiculous behavior since I did my time in prison, but justice did come too late.
I am so sorry about that.
I think we heard enough about my story. Back to the topic of how I joined the team. After Henry returned back to Taiwan after attending his undergraduate classes in person the first time in 2022-23 academic year, I unexpectedly received a message from him, and heard about what he was about to do with this Arising Gossip series. After hearing the characteristics that Henry wanted me to demonstrate, I felt that was exactly who I am, as well as cohering my background. He then told me what the series is about, and the problem that he and his colleagues are at a standstill of, who should be the person speaking for them and describing what they feel. That's when I joined the team as the narrator. I believe most of you may remember that the narrator told the story without speaking at first. That was Henry's idea, because he does not want his colleagues in university, himself or me to get into trouble with the internet comments. It was until the making of the third episode, in which I suggested to showcase my voice in the interviews. That's when he reluctantly said yes.
Question to all of you, for every publicized episodes, do each of the analyses perfectly describe the objective perspective of what went on and whether the reactions are appropriate?
No.
Not even close to perfect, not even once.
I mean, we still look back at those analyses and discuss even further in the subsequent days. So, no.
It's like the concept of bounded rationality. We never had the absolute clear image of the situation. We can only constantly make choices that satisfies the objective perspective.
I'm glad you feel that way, because I have received some questions about Season 1, and we need to ask...
Sorry to interrupt you. I just received an important message from Danny. I need to take a look.